Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Notre Dame Primetime Live. I am your host Ryan Farvel with my co-host Ben. Sean is what do you call it? Late again. Sean just shows up on his own time. Don't know what that's about.
Sean's not putting in 100% for this slave labor we're doing for you here, Fravel. Little do we know, Fravel gets paid the big bucks and we're his slaves.
Yeah, yeah, I get paid a lot. But anyway, Notre Dame is riding a three-game winning streak. After their Saturday's win against Boise State, which was an ugly game, but a win's a win at this point, especially with all the carnage that happened last week. 5 top 10 teams, I believe, lost. More inside the top 25 lost. So it was like a pretty hectic weekend, which benefited Notre Dame all the way back up to number 16 in the AP poll this week. So let's kind of get into it. Let's talk about the game against Boise that happened Saturday. Seemed like the defense has heavily improved just since the game against A&M, giving up 30 to Purdue. I feel like we're seeing a week-to-week progression of the defense. This week seemed like the defense was flying around a lot more, less hesitant than they've been all season. Now, part of that you could say is having Leonard Moore back, having Devontae Smith kind of back for the first quarter. But what were your thoughts on this game and on how the defense played, Ben?
This game, one thing that we noticed was that we kind of felt like we were more. I don't know if it was because it was Boise State or if it's because of how we were playing, but it felt like we were getting more and more comfortable playing in our own skin, playing in the defense that we were playing in, which is a little bit of both of what this is something you're expecting to see by week 5. Is by whatever you're running right here is what you're gonna do bread and butter throughout the rest of the season for you. So, and wanting to be a playoff team, we need to see it by now. I was gonna maybe give it until this week to see if we finally saw it, and we saw it a week early, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so how much of the defensive improvement do you give to just getting Leonard Moore back? And how much of it do you think that the defense has significantly improved? And also, because there have been people that say, well, you're playing Boise State, right? And Boise State, while their passing offense has improved this year, when they've played good defense, or not good defenses, but better teams like South Florida, Notre Dame, their passing efficiency goes way down, passing yardage goes way down, and obviously the scoring column goes way down. So how much of it was each of those three factors?
I would say good amount of it might have came from Leonard Moore being back. We didn't look bad last week without Moore in there. We actually looked pretty decent. So I'll give it to that. But I think, well, at the end of the day, we saw improvements from people outside of Leonard Moore. We saw improvements from Gray. There were certain things that we saw. We saw us being way more aggressive and being able to get to the quarterback more. So there's a lot of that.
I also
people can say, "Oh, you played Boise State. These are Division I football players." That team still returned 12 of, or what was it, 10 of their 22 starters from last year's playoff team. You could say it might have been the worst parts of their team. Guess what? They're still Division I football players, and there's still a good amount of players on that team.
Yeah, and also, I think you can say the stuff about Boise, but if you look at their offense outside of the South Florida game, they were averaging 40 points a game.
Yeah. The offense wasn't as bad as what people have made it out to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the South Florida game lures so high there. Even though I think South Florida is a pretty good defense for a Power 4 or a non-Power 5 school, Power 4 school.
Yeah. I mean, South Florida, they obviously got blown out by Miami, but their defense was a big part of why that game didn't get out of hand very quickly. As Sean Hobson.
Didn't you get my text saying do not start? I'm going to be 5 minutes late.
Did not see your text.
You are an asshole.
Holy shit. We're still early in the show, so you can make up for it.
I got my house painted, so I had to pay the people. So
you're good. What were your thoughts on how the defense played? against Boise.
My thoughts were
Saturday.
you should have checked your text for your podcast co-host, so I would have started with you. But yeah, isn't that right, Ben?
Yeah, facts. Fuck you, Fravel, you piece of shit.
Exactly.
I was talking about how we're slaves to him. We're slaves.
Yeah, I literally
Someone call Nike. We got a new fucking owner here.
Yeah, I text someone. Yep, I'll join in a few minutes. I'm doing this, and I said, wait to start with me. Oh, join's already 5 minutes. Yeah.
All right.
But
thoughts on the game?
I'm still on Ryan starting the episode, so yeah. Ben, Ben, not Ryan, Ben.
Yeah, fuck Ryan.
I thought the episode was great. I mean, the episode. What is wrong with me? I thought the game went great. Defense played great. Would they have 3 turnovers? 4? 3? 4?
4. We had 4. We have 4 interceptions.
Yeah, 4. And they, what's crazy is, I never missed a Notre Dame game, but it was my birthday weekend. And my brother-in-law wanted to golf, and I never golfed before, so I was like, sure, why not? And I had the game on in the golf cart while golfing, which was interesting but unique. But it was fun, and I mean, watching that defense. I mean, they, it's weird because our offense looked better than 28 points. Our defense, this was the best they looked all year. I don't want to hear it's against Boise. Boise made the playoffs last year. Boise still has some of that talent. Yeah, they don't have Gency, but they're still a decent team. And holding them to 7 points is an accomplishment. It felt like they were playing more man. It felt like they were getting to the quarterback with more blitzes. And I think that our defense probably was the best part of this game.
Yeah, interesting stat from this one. So it was the first time since 2013, the new era Pinstripe Bowl against Rutgers, that Notre Dame has had 4 interceptions and 4+ sacks.
Was Chris Ash the head coach then?
No.
Oh.
No. He was at Arkansas in 2013.
So he really wanted to kill himself.
Hey, those were the Bobby Petrino years. So
does not make that better.
Chris Ash, Bobby Petrino was back. So why don't you get into some nostalgia and go over it? No, it's improving. I told y'all I expect it to improve, new system and everything. So
saying like that's the Bobby Petrino years, like being. Remember when Jerry Sandusky was a good defensive coordinator?
Oh my God!
I'm pretty happy with how our defense played. Offensively, we look good. It's just a solid game. The door, we mentioned last week, we talked about, Notre Dame has a 50% chance to make the playoffs. We need some of the upsets. One of those upset weekends are going to happen. Well, it happened. And our chances probably went to 50 to 65%. Right? So
yeah, now we're favorites to make the playoffs on most sports books. Besides Calci.
Everything I've seen from On3 and everything, we're still projected in the Pop-Tarts fucking bowl. So
yeah.
Well, that's because On3 does their little bullshit of, right now you're ranked 16, so you're going to finish ranked 16 the end of the season. That's what we believe. On3's freaking stupid.
I also want to point out I can't remember who it was by, but there was I'll have to find the tweet. But Notre Dame ran more man-to-man coverage this game than they ran in either of the previous 4 games. So people were kind of taking that and running with it and saying, look, you ran mostly man this game, more man than you ran all year. And
I'm not going to lie. This is the one game I don't know if we should have ran that much man. Not saying that I don't know if it would have worked out, but the one thing that I say would give us an advantage is that they don't have Genty. So running man gives them more of 1v1s on the outside. And I thought they'd do better against the 1v1s on the outside. But
I think it's good they ran man.
Christian Gray and Mark Zachary looked amazing this week. They really did not have that many mistakes.
You can prepare against USC, doing more of it and having the practice of in-game with it. CJ Carr really is the best quarterback we've had since Claus and Quinn, and it's just every throw looks effortless. this was the first time this year where I've seen him miss a deep ball or two. But I watch him, and every single time I watch him, I don't understand how. And I don't want to take this as a shot, but like, I love him as a player. But every time I watch CJ Carr, I'm like, how could people watch him play and wanted Kenny Minchie, right? Like CJ Carr is so good. Kenny Minchie is super talented, but in the little bit we've seen him this season, some of the things we've talked about with Minchie, he's solid. Kenny Minchie was just another get you your wins and just do what he needs to do. While CJ Carr was always the game changer.
I feel like a lot of the people who say they want Kim Minchie were more of the people at the time when it was being told that we were getting Kim Minchie. I know you're talking about. There's people on Notre Dame Twitter who said, "Oh, well, we're 3-1 with Kenny Minchie, or we're undefeated with Kenny Minchie." We're not gonna say who those people are because we don't give retards the mic anymore. But
even after the first two losses, there were a few people when it's crazy because it was not on Carr, but people were like, "Oh, we need to see Minchie," right? And it's just like I really don't like. I'm just so happy with how close it was, especially Freeman saying Carr's the guy. Could you imagine? Minchie starting? Like I couldn't imagine. Like I feel like I'd be settled right now. Like I just feel like we have another quarterback that's like every single one we've had. Like it's just seeing CJ Carr play. It's like this is what it feels like to have an elite quarterback.
Yeah, I'll say this too.
I would say we had an elite quarterback last year.
I'm not taking the bait.
It's not bait. It's true. You could be elite at quarterback and be an okay thrower.
Who's a better quarterback, CJ Carr or Riley Leonard?
I don't know. I don't think with CJ Carr we beat Georgia. I'm just gonna say it.
We probably don't beat Georgia, but my thing is with this, right, with Carr. What's crazy is like I've seen multiple Notre Dame quarterbacks miss wide open throws. I've seen multiple Notre Dame quarterbacks miss, fuck up, right? Throw a pick. It's weird with Carr because, he's looked so good. And he's arguably the best freshman quarterback, redshirt freshman quarterback in the country. And his worst game was probably last Saturday. Like, you can say, he didn't throw the pick again. He threw the pick against Miami. He threw the pick against A&M. Realistically, I'm not blaming Carr for those two interceptions because one was on the road and it was a tipped ball that honestly probably could have been tipped out of bounds.
I don't agree with that.
I'm just saying,
I blame him more for the Miami pick than the A&M pick.
No, I blame him for both. Both of them are pretty dumb plays.
I understand the Miami one. I didn't understand. The A&M one, I understand. You're rolling, you see him open, and you just overthrew it a little.
He lofted it.
If you hit that's solid, right? So I get the A&M one. The Miami one, I lost my shit. So.
Yeah.
Well, it was a tipped interception. It wasn't like he threw it.
But it was a tipped. It was a tipped interception on a play that was dead to rights. That's the problem. Yeah. And when he was cocking it back, he saw the DB jump in Jordan Fajon's grill. He could have just been like, airmail. Like, slip, sorry.
Well, realistically, if Greathouse doesn't get, clipped as he's going up to try to knock that shit out of bounds, that's just a weird thing.
If he throws it out of bounds.
Don't use him being hurt as anything, but I think I really expected Greathouse after that playoff run to really emerge this year, and I haven't.
I did too. Second round pick, Jaden Greathouse.
Yeah, I don't. Is there any worries that he potentially, or is anyone worried that he potentially transfers next year?
I can definitely see him. I can definitely see him transferring.
But I mean, Malachi Fields looks amazing.
He'd be our receiver too next year. Like that's the thing you'd have to look at is like Faison's coming
So
back.
let's say we don't go out there and go get another transfer guy.
We could.
But then also, let's not saying that maybe we go more into some guy like Cam
You should
Williams or
always
Micah
get
Gilbert.
one transfer receiver to bring a
Yeah.
leadership in the room or something different, I think.
Yeah.
Every year you should bring in one.
But the fact is that this year our ceiling for Gray House was wide receiver 2, and our floor was wide receiver 3. He's now looking at being wide receiver 4, and if he's out for long enough, Micah Gilbert might end up taking wide receiver 4 spot from him. So I'm not saying that I don't know if he will. I can't read the kid's mind, but if it becomes to the point where we're like, hey, like we're gonna lean more into Micah and Jordan this year, and maybe we bring in a transfer. There's a lot of good transfer receivers that I know want to have good things after football, and they know they can compete well at Notre Dame and make a run and make it to the NFL.
Fields could be our first receiver drafted.
Well, and I mean,
Chronic.
Yeah, Malachi Fields is going to help us out a lot because it's going to be like, hey, those things Fields does not do that well. But what was one thing we talked about with Fields? It felt like whenever he was on a long ball, it was a diving, like he was slow off the pace, which that might be a CJ Carr type thing, but also it's still got to look good for the recruits.
Well, here's my thing, right? Like, where is the great house that had that big game against Penn State?
Maybe it's still a Hard Rock.
I just don't understand how you can. That's where like I just can't believe that he's just dog shit like everybody, because a dog shit receiver doesn't kill one of a top 4 defense for 100+ yards.
I think maybe
I don't think
he's had a lingering injury.
Well, I don't know. I just don't think that it's not that he's a dog shit receiver. It's that he just showed up in those good moments. He showed up and made plays. And let's be real here. When you're in his position, like Jordan Faison was the wide receiver 1 the whole year. Like we can all agree on that. When you're a guy like that, and then you have to go, and then they're not thinking like, oh, Jane Grahow's got to be the one to burn us. Like Faison was a wide receiver 1 against IU. We didn't have a wide receiver 1 against Georgia. So they weren't thinking of Faison. So maybe now, since Faison's like being seen more on the scouting report, maybe there's a difference there.
Or maybe Greathouse too.
He could be hurt.
Maybe the scheme.
Well, and also the effort. The effort's one thing that pisses me off when I'm watching the tape with Jared Clark and them breaking it down is he just doesn't care to block. Like he legitimately. And again, maybe it is like maybe he did have a lingering injury, but effort is one thing that I've noticed every week when we run those screens, those quick outs. He's doing this and then letting go of the guy.
I expect him to be a late season breakout.
I think he has to if he wants to be competitive. If he wants to be competitive for the wide receiver 1 spot next year, assuming that we don't bring in a guy like Malachi Fields, he has to be a late season breakout.
Imagine if he transferred to Penn State or like Ohio State or Bama or something. I'd be pissed. But
I wouldn't be shocked if he transferred to like maybe
Texas
like a
Tech.
Texas Tech offered him a lot of money, so it wouldn't shock me. But like if we're talking about like wanting to transfer, it wouldn't shock me if he wanted to go to a Big Ten school and like see what he can do there. That's why when people,
I think he could stay. Another thing we're talking about. Sorry, off topic. I remember that said before the season we talked about Price and how I expect him to come back like next year unless he broke out. Man, we're gonna have 2 running backs drafted next year.
Maybe.
I hope not.
I don't see Price it's one of those things anymore.
Sean, I hope it's one of those things where, what if you guys had to say just guess right now, what would you say Price in terms of draft status would
He'd be a 5th to 7th round pick.
Yeah.
Okay. If he's a 5th,
I think if he gets to the 3rd or 4th round, like if he has teams saying like, hey, like if you're around, come pick 100, we'll take you. I think if it's in there, I don't think he comes back. But if he's a day 3 guy, then I think we can maybe buy him back.
If you're Notre Dame though, do you do what Ohio State did with Travion Henderson? And you just, even if he is if he's a 3rd to 4th round pick, you go to Jadarian Price and say, hey, we'll pay you more in NIL than what you'd make for a 3rd or 4th round draft pick to stay. Like
you should.
Yeah, you have him and Aeneas Williams. Oh man,
I wouldn't even say Aeneas Williams. I would say Kendrick Young.
Yeah, Aeneas Williams he's been hurt, but he's
he's not the Swiss Army knife anymore. There's enough tape on him now to where like it's kind of obvious what we're gonna do with him when he's out there. I will feel so bad. I will feel so bad if Price comes back because then that means Payne
Or
another year to
Jabron
still.
Payne actually. Hey, Jabron Payne. With I think it was either Boise or it was the game before against Arkansas. He had a few good runs, right?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe he's
Against Arkansas, it was Arkansas starting defense that was out there too. Now that's not saying much. But
I feel so bad for Payne if he does all this, he stays through all this, and he's thinking Jadarian and Jeremiah Love are going to the draft, and then Jadarian Price gets paid to come back, and then we're like, "Hey, sorry, buddy, you're back to the third string. Fight for William."
I do want to. I kind of want to circle back to the CJ card because I didn't get to kind of finish my point on that. My whole point was that with CJ, right? I think Boise was his worst game that I've seen from him this season. You can bring up the Miami game, the pick. You can bring up the A&M game with the pick. To me, he put up 34 points against A&M. He was one of the reasons that offense was as electric as it was. Miami, he was the reason we were in that game to begin with because he had to make plays with Ruben Bain and Mesidor in his face every single snap because his offensive line was made into turnstiles. So I have a hard time blaming him for that. He had 3 total touchdowns. We get our ass kicked if we don't have CJ Carr under center for the Miami game. So it's hard. I just think it's crazy to think that the Boise State game where he threw 2 touchdown passes, over 200 yards, and a 26-yard rush where, by the way, that pump fake, so smooth. But like that's crazy that's his worst performance, and he's a freshman quarterback. And we're sitting here, and that is because I've never seen him miss throws like that.
We would have won by more. I don't think we go for it on 4th and 8 in the red zone if our kicker's healthy.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he had Pauling 20 yards, butt-ass naked, wide open. And I think that was one of those – I think it was one of those things where –
for anyone imagining Will Pauling butt-ass naked, it's going to be what we take from this.
Carr – I think the thing was Carr was kind of shocked at how open Pauling was, and he hurried to throw, and that's kind of what got him. But because Carr makes that throw 9 out of 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then we realistically left 14 points on the board against Boise. We probably should have won 42-7. The 4th and goal, I just don't get. I don't get the play call. And I get, what was it, Collinsworth, I think, or whoever it was on the halftime show was like, if Jadarian Price is the one that gets that direct snap, he gets in the end zone. And I'm like,
well, see, and that's why I hate the direct snap to Jeremiah Love. I understand we're trying to get the ball in his hand faster. We're trying to make it so he has the ability to get more stuff like that. I hate it because I only like direct snaps to the power back because I believe the power back has the ability to blow someone off their side. Now, I think Jeremiah Love can carry someone into the end zone, but Jadarian Price can go straight into a left guard's back, and he can push the left guard and the D tackle trying to push on the inside too.
I think Love proved it against Penn State that he can bully someone into. I just don't like.
I think he can carry him.
I don't mind it on short yardage, but I do. It depends on where. But it's like, come on, man! It's 3rd and 1, and he's lined up in Wildcat. I wonder what they're gonna fucking do.
I think he can carry him into the end zone, but I don't think he can legitimately push. Like, I think Jadarian Price could, push himself into, let's say, Ashton Craig's back and then push another defensive tackle and then a linebacker who's going to stop the pressure, but I think Price is big enough to do that.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was the guy's point was that when Love realized on that play that it was completely stuffed, like Boise State read it, no shit, they knew what was coming, and they blew up the middle. The guy was like, well, Price would have bounced it out to the left and probably scores a touchdown there.
For this play to be effective, call me crazy, I think you should have Love as the Wildcat quarterback and behind him have Jadarian Price. And either have
I still think we should have had him handed off to CJ Carr because who the fuck's expecting that? You're not even looking at. Let's be real. You're not even watching. You're not even watching the ball, and then you hand it off to CJ Carr. You have Jeremiah Love go run it. You act like he's running it, and he acts like he has the ball.
Know.
CJ Carr's walking in.
Or I don't know, right? I don't know. I think we lost Sean for a second. I don't know how good Jeremiah Love can throw a football, right? But I would imagine, like, on that play, when you're motioning Carr out, right, kind of towards, like, the tight end spot, instead of having him just kind of be, like, there, a defense knows he's not going to block, why don't we do kind of like what Purdue did? But if it's like a goal line situation like that, you have Carr kind of motion, and then you have him kind of do the thing he does on those plays where he kind of just backs away from the play, and you just have Love act like he's going to run, and then just throw it to CJ. That would be an easy touchdown because nobody's going to expect that. That would be my thing is, like, we've ran it, probably 20 times, and it's been the same play.
You save it for USC or the playoffs and throw it to Carr or something.
No, you think Jeremiah Love can throw a ball? That would be my thing. Like,
I want to see Jeremiah Love go full Cam Scatterbo in the playoffs and just hit Malachi Fields on a freaking out route for a touchdown. What? It would blow the roof off the fucking place.
I'm proud of this team, 3-2. They're continuing to go up in the point. And it blows my mind that people are like, "How was Notre Dame 16?" It's funny because I'm like, when we were 21, everyone was like, "Yeah, ha ha." And then when other teams lose and we slowly creep up, they're like, "Whoa, wait a minute!" Like, it's so fun. It's so funny to me, like what's going on. But,
well, that'll take us on our next topic real quick. Yeah. The AP Top 25. I've seen a lot of people kind of bitch and moan and complain because Notre Dame's at 16, and specifically Florida State fans are saying, why are they the highest ranked 2-loss team? They haven't beaten anybody. We have that win over Alabama.
We played Miami better than Florida State. They lost by 8. We lost by 3, and they only lost by 8 because
Miami let them come back in that game.
28-3. Like, they were getting their ass handed to them.
It was not competitive. That game
Notre Dame in their 2 losses have a combined point differential.
And you lost to an unranked
that's
team.
less than FSU's
a ranked win and
Miami
an
point
unranked
differential.
Loss is even with a ranked loss and an unranked win. So then now you look at the competition of who they played, and Notre Dame played better against Miami than Florida State. Whether you like it or not, if Notre Dame and Florida State are both the same record by the end of the season, Notre Dame should get in.
The whole argument of, Notre Dame hasn't beaten anybody in the Alabama win. My only pushback to that is that I would understand that if you didn't have the common opponent in Miami for both of them,
and unranked loss,
and you didn't have an unranked loss to Virginia now, who is ranked. But let's be honest, Virginia is only ranked because they beat Florida State.
Virginia could win out though; their schedule's dirt.
And so my thing is like, and also I think the Alabama game. Tell me if you guys agree. If Alabama plays Florida State again, like tomorrow, who do you guys think would win? Ben?
Ron.
Probably Alabama.
I think Alabama.
Yeah. Well, no, my thing is I keep hearing people say,
for a reason, and they won. So
I keep hearing people say like, "Oh, Notre Dame hasn't beaten anyone. They shouldn't be in the top, or they shouldn't be 16." It's like, okay, who has Michigan beaten? Who has like Vandy beaten? Who has BYU beaten? They haven't beaten shit.
Like, who has Illinois beaten?
Who is it? Well, no, Illinois did beat USC, which is going to be our best win.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But who has Missouri beat? They haven't beaten shit. They beat a South Carolina team that was overrated. Like,
Missouri is undefeated, though.
Yeah, but no, Georgia Tech hasn't beaten shit. That's my point, though, is that we keep hearing people say, like, oh, like, these teams haven't beat, like, Notre Dame's beat anyone. Like, who the fuck have these people beat? Like, don't be one-sided.
Yeah.
I said this last week when it comes to playoff rankings or rankings in general. I would understand if all SEC mainly or most Big Ten teams were 2 losses and ahead of Notre Dame, but even at playoff time. But it would piss me off if they're like, hey, Notre Dame's the 11th best team in the country, and we feel like this, and then there's no reason to drop them, and then they drop them for someone else to make the playoff just for the fucks of it, and that would be frustrating when you have no reason to drop them. Which I think Notre Dame now, you look at these rankings, they have to go up 5 spots to make the playoffs. 5 spots. And Michigan losing to USC, that's the game.
That eliminates 1 spot.
We need Michigan to lose to USC.
And that's what I was talking about last week with the process of elimination for teams. Michigan loses to USC. Michigan's gone. That's a spot. Missouri's not going to make the fucking playoffs. That's a spot. LSU loses 3 games. That's 3 spots. So it's 3 spots we're missing out on that. There's someone out of Alabama, Tennessee is not making the playoffs. So that's another spot. So now we only have to make up 1 spot. And right now what it's looking like, maybe we could beat out a team for that spot. I think maybe we beat out a Georgia Tech team who didn't play anyone all year and then gets demolished.
Georgia at the end of the year, or if Georgia Tech loses to Georgia but wins the ACC, right?
That's what I'm saying. If Georgia Tech loses the ACC championship and loses in Georgia, I don't think they make it.
They should be out. They have to win one of them. There's very few times where I feel if you lose your conference that you should be out. But if you lose 2 straight games, you should be.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing. This is my concern. I think the SEC team, all the SEC teams, for the most part, play each other. And I think they'll kind of do what they did last year where they'll cannibalize themselves. And that'll all handle itself in front of us. The only thing I am worried about, and I heard, J.D. Piquel make this good point, is that while I do think Notre Dame, if everything kind of goes how you expect where teams lose, Notre Dame's in a really good spot to make it in at 10-2. The only scary thing would be is you have to hope that the Big 12 and the ACC are one big conferences. You
can have one of them be a 2 big conference. You can. It's possible.
I'm talking about like a bid thief. Like if you say Miami's undefeated, they get to the conference championship. Say they face a 2-loss Georgia Tech in the
You
ACC
would need
title.
Miami to win that. Georgia Tech needs to both get
I think Miami would win it. I'm more afraid of a ACC team resume being a bid through resume, not gaining on that bid. Miami's beating Georgia Tech if they play Georgia Tech. We're not going to lie to ourselves here, guys.
What if it's an undefeated BYU or a 2-loss BYU against undefeated Texas Tech?
That's not good. That can't happen. That can't happen.
SEC or Big Ten are the only.
Because right now, Texas Tech is going to be Texas Tech is either going to be undefeated or one last Big 12 team. All their games are in the Big 12. If BYU loses 2 games, they are not in the Big 12 championship.
To be honest,
because UC or Iowa State is it.
I could see a 1-loss Big 10 12 team being left out.
But what if you see again, I'm just saying weird things happen. What if you get an upset in one of those conference champions, the ACC or the Big 12 championship?
And that's how you get.
And you're kind of.
But yeah, you get. Yeah, but
Notre Dame shouldn't be jumped though.
They should be jumped based off resume.
If you think this would piss me off, like I said, if you think Notre Dame is the 11th or 12th best team in the country for 2 straight weeks, and then all of a sudden, I think Florida State has a better resume, and then jump them all of a sudden, that's bullshit. If Notre Dame's the 11th best team in the country and they keep winning 10 straight games, and you feel they're 11th best team in the country and they don't lose, you shouldn't drop them.
Here's my thing. Because these rankings right now realistically don't matter. Worth the shit. I'm interested to see when the first playoff rankings come out. What? Halloween?
November 4th.
November 4th. Okay. So when they come out November 4th, if you I agree.
We'll be a little higher in the AP poll. We'll probably be 13, 14.
I think we're income to playoff rankings. I think we are. I do. Because we saw it last year. We did not go down. We stayed the same. This AP poll and playoff rankings on the outer bits, on your 14 to 25, they had a lot of separation. Some teams were in, some teams were not in the top 25. But the most part, their top 12 teams were all the same come the first playoff poll. So I think if we're 12, I think we're in the playoff rankings at that point. Now, does not mean that we're in the playoffs at that point, because if we're 12, that means there's a
G5
Power
champ.
4 school that's not in yet, or a non-Power 4 school, a G5 school. I think
Yeah,
we're in
I
the top
think it's-
12 come to CFP.
So what do you guys think the highest possible ranking Notre Dame can get in the CFP?
They
As
will
of right
not be
now.
hosting a game. I think the highest they could get is 9 or 10, and I would say 10.
I could see a world, and this is me playing devil's advocate, where we get the 8 and we're hosting a playoff game. But I don't think we'll be in that world.
We'll be.
I think
In this world that I see a team. I see only being 2 Big Ten teams, and that in this world where I see that is like, no offense to IU, but going to Penn State, that's got to be a tough game. Penn State's not worse than UCLA. They did not look better than UCLA that game.
IU's undefeated though, so if they
lose
if they're one loss, they're in.
No, but they lose to Oregon, they lose to Penn State, and they drop a random game. They drop a draft game. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Even if IU's 2 losses, IU is between the Big Ten and SEC. The only team that I think with 2 losses that shouldn't be in front of Notre Dame is IU.
The only thing I could see, right, it's if we get the 8 seed, would kind of be like an Ohio State scenario where you would need absolute chaos like we had last year, where a lot of teams in the top 10 lost the final week of the season. And I could see it because I think what you would need is you need Miami to be the clear-cut number 1 or number 2 team in the nation, go undefeated.
A&M
win
will
the
not
ACC,
stay where they are.
and you would need A&M to win the SEC. If
Not
A&M,
not happening.
I don't know.
There's definitely a world where A&M's got to win the SEC. We're definitely getting close to that. A&M, and the thing is, and I hated on Mike Elko last year because it made our resume look like shit. But what Mike Elko did last year, he's correcting off his mistakes. When you go and look at that Auburn game, when Marcel Reed threw that basic pick 6, Mike Elko did not say, "Oh, we need to go out there and prove that we're better than that." He went out there and said, "Okay, let's get out of this game and let's win this game. We're not going to give Auburn any more opportunities to make plays and get takeaways and score points."
Like, realistically, I don't know if Oklahoma's better than Texas A&M. I don't know if Ole Miss is ranked ahead of them. I don't know without a shadow of a doubt that Ole Miss is better. I don't know that Alabama.
I will say this: the people that didn't freak out that there were a 2-loss Ohio State team in, and then they would be like, "Oh, like Notre Dame 2 losses is in. What's the difference?" Oh, well, Ohio State played a ranked team or 2, and hence why Ohio State hosted a playoff game, not just made the playoff.
There were Tennessee fans that were just as mad that they had to go on the road.
But at what point does Notre Dame and Ohio State's resume match up enough? Because losing to that Michigan team is a very, and what did we say?
Yeah.
A good loss, a ranked loss and an unranked loss is equal to a ranked win and an unranked win, right?
Yeah.
That's what we said. So that's where it's like, okay, at what point did them losing to Michigan, even though it was a rivalry game, and when that game happened, they were still saying Ohio State's resume was good enough to be a hosted team. That's my thing. I'm not saying that it's impossible for us to get the
But
AC.
I don't think ours is. I think I'm okay with us just making it. That's all that
I'm
matters.
fine with making it. I want to make it no matter what. But I am going to live in. I'm going to think about, well, what has to happen for us to get a play in.
I
think us making it. I think us making it and winning out. Like if we win out, I think my belief in making it goes up a lot more.
In my world, the only way that happens again is if Miami's the number 1 team in the nation and Texas A&M is top 4. If that happens, and Notre Dame can sit there at the end of the year and say our 2 losses are to the number 1 and number 4 team in the nation, number 3 team in the nation, whatever it would be, then who else would say that they lost by 4? Those are playoff games then at that point. Like,
just looking at A&M's schedule, and I wanted to bring up A&M's schedule when looking at it. LSU is the only game I could see being tough for A&M. They're going to beat the shit. If they don't beat the shit out of Missouri, then this A&M team fucking sucks. I just think that we need to blow up the whole fucking like A&M like being a good team thing. But they're going to beat Florida at home. They're going to win at Arkansas. LSU is the game that I see them losing, and that means they're a 1-loss SEC team. That means they're
LSU?
It's at LSU.
At LSU.
That's why I think they'll lose it.
But the problem is, and now here's my thing with that game, right? Like, I could see LSU winning it because it is at home. It's Death Valley at night. But man, that offense is
It's terrible. It
it's
needs to
terrible.
improve.
Like,
But that's just a game. That's a game where the defense is good enough to I think they can hold Marcel Reed and A&M to
I
under
think
20
LSU
points.
loses 3 games though.
Yeah, I do too. I think they lose to Bama and they lose to Oklahoma.
yeah.
And maybe
And I
even
think, to be honest, I don't think a 3-loss team should be in over a 2-loss team.
they should. No, like I don't think there's a world
See,
where that happens. I think
know,
LSU fans have accepted the idea that this is their season's over in a way, unless they see improvement.
This is what's going to happen, though, Sean, and I know you don't want to hear it. There's going to be some 3-loss SEC team at the end of the year that they're going to be like, we should have got in over Notre Dame. At least we beat somebody. That's what's going to happen.
I think beating somebody and losing 3 games is, I mean, you had 2 losses to ranked teams. You had 3 losses, 2 to ranked teams, and then an extra non-ranked team. But then it's like, oh, we didn't play the ranked team, but then you beat one. Then we're even. Then you look at record, right? And it's just like, that's why it matters. You play the games you're given, and you win them out. I mean, hey.
Yeah.
We can't still be left out. We should be in. I think definitely what it's going to come down to is we're going to need some of these SEC schools to eat each other alive, which we anticipate.
I think we're going to have that happen. Like, happens every year.
And also, so like I agree with this comment. If we go not undefeated, but win out, we can still be left out, but we shouldn't be in. The only way we get left out is based on conference championship chaos, like an otherwise undefeated Texas Tech losing. That's the only thing that worries me, is if we have some weird shit that happens on championship Saturday, and for whatever reason Miami shits the bucket, Texas Tech shits the bucket, and then that's 4 spots that they have to give.
Like right now, looking at, and I'll just, because I did a lot of research in the Big 12 thing with Cincinnati and all that. That's why I've been basically doing. I've been trying to figure out what needs to happen for Cincinnati to make it to the Big 12 championship. Right now, what's going to be is this: Texas Tech has to go to Arizona State. Texas Tech has to host BYU. Those are their biggest games. If Texas Tech loses to Arizona State, we jump Texas Tech, or Texas Tech's going underneath us. I don't know if we jump. Like I think Texas Tech goes below 16.
But here's then they're 17, but Texas Tech with 1 loss over Notre Dame 2.
But let me keep talking. So then you have teams like Arizona State will then play in the Big 12 championship if Texas Tech loses to them, because Arizona State then, I want to say they don't finish the season with a ranked team after Texas Tech if they win. They don't play another ranked team after Texas Tech. So if they win out and they beat Texas Tech, they won their 1 loss. They're in, because even if they lose to Iowa State, they're in. That's their next closest to a ranked team is Iowa State. And then after that, you keep going on. Well, if UC loses to BYU, then they're in, because they have the 1 loss and they have the tiebreaker over Iowa State. So then right now you're looking at the Big 12 team being like how it was last year, 13-13 rankings. Who's going to be the 13-14? If Texas Tech loses to Arizona State. Now, if Texas Tech wins and they go undefeated and then they lose in the Big 12 championship, then we're fucked. And we have to start praying to Jesus Christ.
I think we should hope that Texas Tech beats Arizona State.
I think realistically,
because knock Arizona State out of there.
Arizona State's already knocked out.
No, they're.
Well, okay, no.
If they beat Texas Tech, they jump us.
But I don't think they jump us if they beat Texas Tech.
If they win the conference, they do.
If they win the conference, they make the playoffs no matter what. I'm trying to find a way that we could have 1 Big 12 team in, and that's Texas Tech losing a game. 1 Big 12 team will make it if Texas Tech loses a game.
So here's my thing, right? I think we just need Texas Tech to just handle business, win out, leave no doubt in the Big 12 championship, win that game. Miami,
because we want UC to win the bit. We want the UC to win the Big 12 championship here, guys. Come on, let's get it together.
So we can get that. Can we get that Notre Dame Cincinnati rematch in the playoffs?
Yeah, facts. I would fucking love that. Let's have you guys come to Clifton on a fucking Saturday afternoon.
I don't even know who Ben would root for.
He's gonna wear a Notre Dame jersey and a UC hat.
No, you remember Donna Kelsey where she had the Eagles and Chiefs jersey with Kelsey on the back?
Yeah. It'd be
Yeah, we'll
something
do
like
that. We'll do that, but it'll be Joe Royer and Tyler Buckner on the back.
Oh no.
Joe.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, a message from our boy Mark, and then on to NC State.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select a betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
Thank you for that. Now, speaking of betting, our friends over at Novig had the odds today for the NC State at Notre Dame game. Notre Dame is a 22.5-point favorite, and the over-under is 60.5, still in that 60 range. It's gone down by 2 points the last 2 weeks. First things first, before we break down the game, thoughts on the spread and thoughts on the over-under. Ben?
Real quick, as we talk about this, I did
go ahead.
stop because my friend's a UVA friend. He went to UVA, or fan. If Virginia finishes with 1 loss, or even 2 losses, but let's just say 1 loss, they went out losing the ACC championship. Notre Dame has 2 losses. Or even if they have 1 loss, does a 1-loss Virginia who lost to NC State get in over a 2-loss Notre Dame who beat NC State?
No. They have to win the ACC championship. They have to win it.
I don't know. I
Do
think
they play
give it to
Georgia
them.
Tech? Do they play
No,
Georgia
they
Tech?
don't.
Georgia
The
Tech
hardest
played
game,
nobody.
the hardest game to end the season is Virginia Tech
Like Duke.
Because
or Duke.
right now-
going to Duke.
because
is
right
hard.
now, Georgia Tech, their schedule sets up easy, so they could very well be undefeated.
I don't know. I would not shock me if they do. That's one of the
I think
things
one of
where
them
it's.
fall to somebody they shouldn't.
Well, see, that's the thing. I could definitely see Virginia losing at Cal.
But I'm going to
Um,
say I like the spread. I think we win by more than 22.5. So I think it's a good spread on trend of how Notre Dame's been playing. So
I got it on Monday. I got it at 20. I got 19.5. I didn't think it would go to 22.5. I thought it'd stick around 21.5, but it went to 22.5. It pushed the extra point. I got I put a unit on 19.5. 22.5 is one of those things where I'm scared as a bettor because then it's like, okay, you're playing field goals and extra points and shit like that. So if you feel comfortable in doing 22.5, you could throw a unit on it. I wouldn't suggest against it. I could definitely see this being a game where we win by 30. I could also see this being a game where maybe it's a little bit of a trap where we have to kind of just get our shit together. And maybe in the second half, that's when we start taking over. I think over 60.5 is free. I think if you get anything, I think you could take this all the way up to 67. I definitely see this being, even if it's a close game, I could see this being a game where our offense is really well. Our defensive bronze return. So I think 60 points is definitely possible.
Yeah, it's interesting because the spread last week was 62.5 for the Boise game. Not even close to covering that last week. But real quick, just because
The spread was what?
It was 62.5 last week.
No way, the spread was 62.5.
It was.
You mean
for Boise?
the over under was 62.5.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what
Yeah,
I
the spread.
Oh yeah,
The spread for the Purdue game before
I'm-
we lost to NIU.
Notre Dame
Twitter
wins
is
by
40.
60 points.
Anyway, anyways, if you guys want to go ahead and get these odds, make sure you go over to Novig and use code VOCFBND when signing up. If you have a gambling problem,
Don't quit. You're gonna hit the diamond some point. Don't fucking quit, guys. You're gonna hit the diamond some point.
If you have a gambling problem like our boy Ben here, make sure you call 1-800-GAMBLER and get yourself some help. Anyway,
Call it a gambling problem. I call it a winning problem. But
anyway,
to which around.
NC State's coming off of a blowout win against the Fighting Campbell Camels at home. Meanwhile, Notre Dame again is coming off that 28-7 win against Boise. NC State, they're 4-2 with losses to Wake Forest. They did have the upset win against Virginia earlier in the year, and then they lost to a horrendous Virginia Tech team. I believe that game was at home too, that they lost to VT. So I don't know what to think of NC State. Their offense, I think, is really good. CJ Bailey is one of the better quarterbacks in the ACC. The problem is their offensive line is atrocious. Campbell got a ton of pressure on CJ Bailey last week. Virginia Tech was able to get a lot of pressure, and so was Wake Forest just a few weeks ago. And Notre Dame's defensive line is better than all those teams.
Yeah, but our defense coordinator might not know how to send the pressure. We'll see.
Obviously, their receivers aren't as good as they were, losing Casey Concepcion to Texas A&M. Their offense their running back, I believe, is second in the nation in rushing yards right now. So that's something to pay attention to. Their defense is atrocious, like absolutely terrible. It might be up there with Arkansas's defense. So they make Kyron Drones and Virginia Tech's offense look competent. So it could be another high-scoring affair, but what are your guys' thoughts on this one?
I think Notre Dame wins this game 52-20.
Man?
I think this is going to be a game where we're going to run the ball a lot. One thing that we saw with Virginia was able to run the ball. Jamari Taylor, I want to say he averaged almost 10 yards a carry. It was crazy. Jamari Taylor's a freaking dog. But I also wouldn't be shocked if NC State tries to kind of match us with running, because I keep seeing people say NC State has the ability to throw, CJ Bailey's a good quarterback. I could see that. CJ Bailey's a really good runner too, so I could definitely see this being a game where it's going to be running back heavy. But I think we're going to be able to run a decent amount on them with Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love. So I think towards the end of it, I think we win this game I give it 45-20. 45-14.
I almost said 45-20, so I think I might change it.
I think
it's copying me, bro. Come on, man.
Here's my thing. So I've seen a lot of people talk about it in the group chat today. They think this is trap game territory. I'd feel like that if it was at NC State, because Carter Finley is a hard place to play.
See, here's the thing. The way we play, in our past, trap games happen more at home than they do on the road.
That is true. That's true. I do think that it might be tight early on, right? I do think this is one where Notre Dame pulls away. However, I don't think Notre Dame covers. You guys said 45-20. I'm going 42-20. That half point really kills some people's bets. And I think that's how we end in that one. I think it's going to be one of those things where NC State's down 42-17. They drive late and kick a meaningless field goal to make it 42-20.
So what I'm hearing is when NC State's down 42-17, I cash out my bet.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, basically.
If it's 42-17, everybody could cash out.
DraftKings got to be pissed.
So you can get some money.
Unless you're
Yeah.
using Novik. Unless you're using Novik,
by
then
an ominous guy from DraftKings.
unless you're using Novik, then keep it riding because we need to have Novik make money. So then me and Sean can stop doing slave labor for Fravel.
Yeah. Anyways, that's our pick'ems for the week. Now, or not pick'ems for the week, but game preview and prediction. Now let's go ahead and get into.
I did good as shit last week when I picked
You
Florida
did.
and Cincinnati. So
I took Cincy too, and
Hey, y'all can hop off my dick, okay? If you weren't there for the Nebraska game, don't be there for the Iowa State game. Just
I
saying.
watched that whole Nebraska
By
game.
the way, we didn't mention this during the top 25 talk, but
Yeah, Cincinnati being the top 25 is the main reason that I think the AP poll shouldn't be a fucking thing. AP, and it's non-Notre Dame related, so we're gonna make it short
I
and
think
sweet.
they should still be ranked, but I think Cincinnati should be as well.
Cincinnati should have been the 22nd team, and Iowa State should have been the 24th team. That's how it should fucking work. But the AP poll, with their communist fucking organization of voters, I don't know how the fuck these assholes get jobs. It's like, do they hold up help wanted signs outside the athletic director area of these fucking schools? Like, it's a fucking joke. Goddamn joke. Let the Bearcats be ranked. We want ranked Brandon Sorsby, damn it. Legit, never. I have never had UCB ranked as a football team in my years of being a student. Never have.
wait, you weren't in drunken rage after the Nebraska game?
I wasn't a. You would have fucking there.
I wasn't there. I was at the Miami game.
H-Town was there when I was fucking screaming in the space about how our quarterback fucking sucks.
Now it's Brandon Sorsby for Heisman.
Well, yeah, because Satterfield knows how to call fucking offense all set. Like, he's like, oh, how about we throw the ball to our top receiver? I think it ends well that way.
All right,
Y'all can
let's
still
get
make
to
the
our.
Big 12 championship if you lose this game.
Let's get to our top 25 pick'ems. This one's interesting this week.
Yeah, you can ask Noah. He was there.
The battle for the G5 bid in this one, number 24 South Florida, 4-1 goes on the road to take on undefeated North Texas at North Texas. North Texas is, or South Florida is a 1-point favor on the road.
I'll pick South Florida.
I'm taking North Texas. I'm taking the under on that. It's at 68.5. This game's got to go under on points.
You know what's crazy is they lose Chandler Morris.
I thought you were saying they win by less than a point.
Yes, they're going to kick a half a point extra. They're going to go. I don't know how that would work, but
It's
yeah,
crazy
that would be funny.
because North Texas loses Chandler Morris to Virginia, who's putting up godly numbers. In UVA, he put up godly numbers at North Texas. Oh, and they just replaced him with a walk-on that I believe he's still leading the nation in passing yards.
Texas,
So
a walk-on from Texas is the equivalent of a scholarship player from other schools.
well, yeah.
But I think this game's got to go under on points, so I'm going to take North Texas. I didn't know if
I'm going
to
to take the mean grain too in the upset. I think.
Bro, dude, can you stop copying me, Fravel?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Number
one ball, damn it.
Number 8 Alabama at number 14 Missouri.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Alabama. Ryan pick Alabama so Ben can pick Missouri.
Man.
You can ride.
I'm going to take Mizzou in this one.
Holy shit! I can take Alabama. Yes, okay. I'm taking Alabama. Give me the over on the points.
Yeah, I think that's an upset in that one.
I think we
Is
should
it at Bama?
No, it's at Missouri.
Yeah, it's good.
I think should we keep track of like what I tell people to do gambling wise? And then it's like at the end of the year, see if people made money doing what I told them
See
to
if
do.
you covered the spread, or like if you if you're against the spread, how you did.
Yeah.
All right, Pittsburgh at number 25 Florida State.
Pittsburgh has a chance to do the funniest thing of all time.
Sean's having a hard time with this one.
I talked.
You didn't say anything, did you hear him say anything?
I hear it. But I was
said
also
I
talking.
want to pick Pittsburgh so bad, but I'm picking Florida State.
Okay. Ben?
Oh, fucking Christ. I really want No, I was going to go with the memes last week with UCLA. I'm going to go with the memes this week. Give me Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh wins, and give me
If it was
under on the.
at Pitt, yes, but
Give me over 57.5 on that.
I think it's a game where Florida State sweats it out, but I think they survive. I think Florida State wins that one.
I don't see
All
them
right.
losing 3 straight.
Indiana at Oregon.
It's a fun one. I'm going to pick Oregon with it being at home, but I do think this is going to be a fun game.
What's your pick, Ron?
I'm going with the Ducks in this one. Go
You
Ducks.
sons of bitches.
Best running back in the nation.
You're really gonna make me pick Indiana here.
You could just go Oregon.
Good, but then I'm everything that I hate.
You really want to be Brady Holiday of the show?
That's true. Bray Howard is a fucking douchebag. Yeah, give me Oregon.
Dante Moore.
All right. The
Ryan,
Red
who'd you
River
pick?
rival. I took Oregon. The Red River rivalry.
Guys, I would not touch the over under on those points. But
Oklahoma
if I
versus Texas.
This is tough. If Oklahoma's quarterback plays, I pick Oklahoma. But if
Is Mateer gonna play?
Mateer's supposed to play now.
Expected to, so I'm gonna pick Oklahoma. However, Texas is not out of the playoffs, even though they're unranked. Same with Penn State if they went out, but I think both lose again at some point and they'll be out. But I think Oklahoma wins this.
Give me Oklahoma by 12 points. Texas is not a good football team. Sarkisian should get fired.
Give me Oklahoma. I think that defense is going to eat Arch Manning alive. And I think it's going to continue the whole Arch is overrated conversation. All right. Virginia Tech at Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech's on a 2-game win streak, by the way.
Oh,
3-game win streak, actually.
give me the Hokies.
Ben?
If it was at Virginia Tech and if we were getting Enter Sandman, I would take Virginia Tech, but I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech here. I think they're basically the same team except King can throw the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Yellow Jackets too. Iowa State at Colorado.
Iowa State.
Give me Iowa State.
Yeah, Cyclones.
Fuck is the quarterback at Colorado anymore? All these changes.
Florida.
No, Deion Sanders is gonna have another blood clot. He's gonna randomly miss this game.
Texas A&M.
Florida at Texas A&M. Does Florida have
A&M.
another Texas team? Okay, A&M.
No, yeah.
Georgia, Kansas at Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Also, I told y'all when I saw this 4-game stretch of Florida, everyone was like, "Oh, they suck. They'll lose." I said they were going to win one of those games. I didn't know which one, but they ended up beating Texas. But I'm picking Texas Tech.
Taking Texas Tech, but give me Kansas over on the points for one, and give me Kansas to cover the spread on that.
I'd love for Kansas to win.
Yeah, I'd love Kansas because I like Jalen Daniels, but it's not going to happen. Give me Texas Tech. Georgia at Auburn.
Georgia.
Weird shit happens in this game all the time. Ben wants to go Auburn so bad.
I do want to go Auburn, but I can't. It's too fucking retarded to take Auburn. Give me Georgia.
Yeah, give me Georgia. Michigan at USC.
USC.
Battle of two teams. One has a terrible offense. The other one has a terrible defense.
USC wins this game with one loss. They should be ranked, beating a top 15 team as they're receiving votes. This could be huge for Notre Dame. Huge to play a ranked team and win. USC.
Ben?
I never pick for USC. Give me Michigan.
I wish I could root for the Meteor in this one, but I'm gonna have to go with USC. Just because I think we need them to win to make that win against them look better. But
If USC needed to beat Oregon the last game of the season for Notre Dame to make
Nope.
the playoffs,
Nope. I'll cheer for the Bronco on I-45 before I cheer for USC.
fake.
all right.
Not fake. I'm a real fucking fan. I will never cheer for USC. They're a
I will
shitty
never
fucking
cheer
program.
for USC unless it benefited.
I will no. Fuck that. I want USC to go 0-12 every fucking year.
Ryan,
I want that fucking college
Would
to go
if
and get
USC
sent
needed
down
to
to
beat
the
Oregon
yes.
the last game of the season for Notre Dame
No.
to make the playoffs, would you want Oregon to lose to USC?
Yes.
For Notre Dame to make the playoffs?
No, I don't give a shit. I would rather miss the playoffs and see USC succeed. Because guess what we'll hear? Even if we make the playoffs because of that, guess what we will hear? Oh, well, USC be the top so-and-so team and Notre
You
Dame.
wouldn't hear shit because USC fans aren't existing.
They do exist. We hear them all the fucking time. They're in their fucking O.J. Simpson 1994 fucking jerseys, flexing that shit.
Real quick. So here's my thing about it. I hate Michigan more than I hate USC, and that's
you're dumb for that. So.
See, you can say that, but I don't know. It's to me, there have been some memorable moments against Michigan. USC's been down the last decade, and part of that's just because we've been taking. But like Michigan, I don't know. To me, it's probably because it's more Midwestern. But like,
my thing is this: is that Michigan fans. If you go to Michigan University, you're a big Michigan football fan. Like you are. And like most of them, like I understand some people have had bad, I don't believe some of the things that we've been told, but I understand some people have bad experiences with Michigan fans. USC fans, most of the people that go to USC could give a shit less about USC football. USC fans are most of the time not even people who go to USC or live in Southern California or have any connection to USC. But it's a little different because we don't openly shit on people that are Notre Dame, but we don't care if you're a USC fan until you start talking shit to us first. Like, how many times have you?
If I met a USC fan, I'd be like, "You suck."
So you would shit on someone just because they went to USC for like school? I'm talking.
I'm talking about
USC fans shit on people that go to Notre Dame for school. That's why I don't think it's okay. Because some, like, I don't know. Me personally, I think that's fucking stupid.
They also use the
shit on them
dumbass
for going to USC, but I'd be like, "Fuck USC."
Well, that's fuck USC's football program. That's fine. But if you're saying like, "Oh, you went to USC, you're a
Fuck the
scum."
whole university. So.
Yeah.
They also the USC fans. I would say Michigan fans. They have somewhat of an IQ to have a football debate with. USC fans have no IQ whatsoever.
And the other thing with USC fans is that they're not even USC fans. They're USC football fans. They don't give a shit about USC basketball or baseball. When USC won the Pac-12 in baseball like 10 years ago, no one at USC gave a shit.
Dude, do you really think that Notre Dame fans are happy that their fencing program won?
I am.
No, but the Notre Dame fans are happy that their basketball program's getting top prospects.
You think
USC got Desmond Claude, the number 5 transfer in the country last year, and you hear from USC fans, well, why did we spend on football? Why do we care about basketball?
Now, listen, I'm a Notre Dame basketball fan. I'm Notre Dame everything. If it comes to baseball, I'll root for them. But if it comes down to it, this is going to be harsh. I don't give a single fuck unless it's the football team winning.
You don't wait. So you didn't care that lacrosse won 2 back-to-back national championships?
I mean, it was cool. I'm like, great for the university. Like that's cool. But it's not like
I'm
like, yeah, Notre Dame's lacrosse champion.
Dude, I even got Ben into watching lacrosse.
I watched both of those natties, Ryan. You didn't get me into watching lacrosse. I just didn't watch it throughout the whole season. I watched both the natty runs.
Well, I got you to watch the regular season.
You got me to watch one game in the regular season. We fucking lost that game. So I stopped watching the regular season. And then I was like, oh, if we make the playoffs, I'll watch again. Yeah. That was my rule. I didn't watch it unless it was the playoffs because I can only watch it a certain amount of times for my team to start to suck again.
All right. South Carolina and
I love
LSU.
everything.
South Carolina, LSU. Give me LSU.
Where is it at?
LSU.
It's at LSU.
Give me LSU. I could see South Carolina winning this, but
you know what? I'm gonna do it because fuck BK.
Fuck.
Give me the Gamecocks to
I could
upset.
see you saying "fuck BK" for him murdering a student, but I think that you saying because he left for LSU. I mean, I'm glad he left.
Oh, I
but
don't give a
appreciate
shit that he
everything did.
left. I don't give a shit that he left. Me and Ben had this conversation the other night. It's the
Bullshit! I don't give a shit. He left. Bullshit. Fine, Fravel. Go on. Finish what you were gonna say.
Give
No,
me,
finish your stupid fucking comment, please.
I said
Finish it.
I didn't like how he left. That's my issue.
I'm glad how he left because we have Freeman.
I don't give a shit how he left. What he said wasn't completely wrong. And Notre Dame fans don't like to hear it. And it's a fucking hot take. What Brian Kelly said wasn't 100% wrong. Did he say it in the correct way? No. But what he said kind of wasn't incorrect.
About not winning, can't win a natty at Notre Dame.
About how it's more difficult to recruit and get players at Notre Dame.
And
The reason it's difficult is because Brian Kelly at Notre Dame.
No, that's not what the reason was difficult. The reason was difficult.
It's difficult for
The reason that it's difficult. There's a reason. The reason that it's difficult for Notre Dame to get recruits over teams like LSU, Alabama, and stuff like that is because, well, at one, academic standards, and two, these schools are schools that bring in kids because they want to go to LSU and Alabama when they were children because they're from the area. Alabama, the South in a whole, brings in so much college football athletes and so much talent. Period.
Kids who want to go to Notre Dame their whole life.
Those kids aren't usually 5-star prospects, dude.
Notre Dame has
recently becoming 5-star prospects
every year.
Yeah, because we're able to go out there and guess we had a top 10 class with Kelly. What he meant by is that we cannot get top 5 classes. And he wasn't wrong. So there was a giant thing that happened called NIL, where everyone was allowed to start paying 18-year-olds to come to their school. And guess what? That helped. That helped us a lot because guess what? Before we were competing for 3 and 4 stars. Now we're able to go into the 5-star range and compete for 5 stars because we're able to be like, hey, 5-star, you want to come to a school that loves football and the fans love football and the freaking programs around it love football and you want to make money off NIL? Now there's that option for these kids. Before some of these kids, you throw 6,000.
Notre Dame's a top 5 college football job. In college football,
it 100% is now. At the time, if you were Brian Kelly, it became a top 5 job. It seemed like a top 5 job because of what Brian Kelly was able to do.
I see. Here's my thing.
As a program, I can't name 5 jobs I'd rather have over.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to.
For NIL?
Yes.
We're gonna have to shelve
OSU, Oklahoma, Georgia, Alabama, all 5 better programs for NIL.
We're gonna have to shelve this conversation, right? Because I think it'd be interesting to do this debate on an actual show and spend a show doing this because I think it'd be hilarious because I feel a certain way. I know Sean feels a certain way. Ben feels a certain way that most Notre Dame fans don't feel.
Well, I understand why they don't want to feel it. That's fine. You don't want to. And I hate the fact that I have to say Brian Kelly was correct because I fucking don't like the guy. He's a piece of shit. But what he said is not 100% wrong, and it has facts behind it.
Brian Kelly was lazy. LSU
and Notre Dame beat LSU 2-3 times.
And who was the head coach?
Yes.
Brian
but
Kelly.
they gave Notre Dame a better job.
LSU won a natty. They had the best team in college football history. What do you fucking mean? And guess what? None of those kids were transfers besides Joe Burrow. The rest of them were recruits from that fucking Orgeron got. What are we talking about?
Here's my thing real quick. This is all I'll say, and then we can shelve this conversation.
Are we going to talk about the Illinois-Ohio State game?
Yes, we're going to. We're going to. We can shelve this conversation. We'll do a show about it because a topic about it because I think it's interesting, right? I do think that there's more credit that could be given to the fact that I think Marcus Freeman is a better recruiter, is a better fit for Notre Dame than Brian Kelly was because whether or not NIL is a thing, NIL doesn't make Brian Kelly not go golfing when it's a big OV weekend and kids are asking, where's my head coach that I might be playing for?
Brian Kelly's lucky he's not in prison right now.
That's the only thing. Let's not go there. I All right, let's get to these
So is
games.
the fucking Georgia football team, but guess what? We don't give a shit.
No.
So is Javon Carter.
Oh my god. All right. BYU at Arizona.
Arizona.
BYU.
Arizona. Arizona State at Utah.
Arizona State.
Ooh. I'm gonna go Utah. Ben.
Arizona State.
All right. Ohio State at Illinois.
Ohio State.
Ben, you're not taking the Fighting Illini. Fucking stop it. You're not fucking doing it.
I really want to be an asshole because if they win, I'm gonna come in here flexing so fucking hard. No, I'm taking Ohio State.
I don't even think
Illinois 1 week finds out their fucking quarterback problem and locks down the best receiver in the country. I'm fucking pissed.
if Illinois wins this fucking game, they might burn down Champaign.
That would also hurt Notre Dame.
I think I'd be laughing too hard. I don't know if I'd think about it at the time.
All right. Well, that's it for our pick'ems. I took Ohio State too. But anyways, guys, for the 137 people watching, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you go over, drop a sub, like, comment on the Voice of College Football, Notre Dame. I have been your host, Brian Prevost, with my co-hosts, Ben and Sean. We will see you guys next week, same time. As always, stay safe and go Irish.
Go Irish.
Right.